I'm a big believer in having data to go on. As designers, we frequently come up with a lot of new ideas and new ways to connect with customers on an emotional level, but it's always good to have some data to back that up before you start investing in the construction of those things. So anytime you have an opportunity to work with market research companies and do a little bit of maybe customer intercept interviews or focus groups to get some data on what it is that your customer is really looking for and what they need, I'm a huge supporter of that. Unfortunately, not every company can afford that. So in that case, I highly recommend just having casual conversations with your customers on a regular basis. Talk about why they came in, what were they looking for, what didn't they find, those kinds of things. What problems were they trying to solve when they came in? And then just collect that data and keep it in the back of your mind so that you can address those in new and different ways. Now, one of the things to remember is we have a saying in the design industry that customers make great rearview mirrors, but they don't make great windshields. And what that means is customers are really good at telling you what their experience in your store has been. They can tell you what works well, what doesn't work well, what they would like to see operating a little bit differently. But they're not great visionaries. They don't have that vision for the future. And they can't tell you, if you say to them, hey, what if we tried X? Would you like that? 9 times out of 10, they just don't have an eye for that. And I'll give you a personal example from that. I remember when Steve Jobs came out on stage and held up the iPad for the first time. And I looked at that as a customer and I said, it's too big to be a cell phone and it's too small to be a laptop. Why would I want that? So if he had asked me, hey, Scott, should we come out with this tablet? I would have said no. Now, having said that, I'm not privy to the market research that they did. It's entirely possible that maybe they did some focus groups or they did some customer intercept interviews and they discovered that portability was a big issue with their customers. Or maybe they did some observational research and they discovered that when customers had access to a touch screen, they didn't use the keyboard that much. So somebody said, hey, what if we just got rid of the keyboard and we just had a screen? I don't know how they came up with the idea. All I know is, as a customer, if they had asked me, I would have said no. And obviously, I would have been really wrong. We have come up with millions of uses for tablets. I have one. I use it all the time. And so I guess where I'm going with this is I encourage you to collect data from your customers on what their experiences have been up to this point. What kinds of things have worked for them, what hasn't worked for them, and come up with creative ways to solve those problems and then test those creative ways. Give the customers an opportunity to experience those solutions and give you feedback on what works and what doesn't work about those solutions, and then go from there.